Morning, combines. You great car. Hey, everybody! You're watching Cole the Corn Star. Woo! Beautiful day. Today we got the 2014 Case 9230, 45-foot Draper with Curry air bar on the front, and then in the the green corner, we got the 2020 John Deere S790 from Van Wall Equipment. Got the 40-foot Draper on the front of this. We're gonna be running these two combines today. We're over on Zach's farm. We got 150 acres here with these two machines. With the beautiful conditions we're having today, we're gonna get this thing wiped out in no time. I've never been up on a John Deere combine like this before. This is where we put the blue Gatorade, I think. What do we got over here? Fuel tank. Ooh, I like that cap. Look at that grain tank. That thing's a mammoth. Ooh, dipstick. Dipstick. No. Might be onto something here. Ah, there we go. Little towards the lower end, but I think we're good. I see what they did. They put it down low so that way the little kids would do it, so that way they know from a young age to check the oil. That's smart, John Deere. And then with older gentlemen, they put it down there so that way they don't check the oil. Then they have to buy a new machine faster.
We just got the auger set up to the bend. Hey Kelly, come here. Making it hard. We're running the tractor on 1,000 RPMs because we don't have 540 on this one. Probably overfed the tractor. I'm running the RPM slower. Try to keep the auger from going 100 miles per hour.
Choke key. Like a green. Look at that. Got DEF, diesel. Eee. 330 gallons! I don't have enough fuel to do the 9230 or the 340, so we're just gonna get everything greased up. We're gonna put DEF in stuff. These have half a tank in them yet, so we can roll for a while. That's it! Unscheduled put all their grease zerks in one spot in this nice bank right here, so that way you don't have to climb all over the machine to get to them. So thank you for that, Unscheduled. This is nice. Gilbert took the fuel trailer to go get more fuel. I'm going to start getting this field outlined with the 790, so then once he gets here, we should be able to go back and forth. This field's pretty much square, so once we get it down and back off the ends, then it's just back and forth. We're gonna do 120 feet of end rows or headlands, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna do it down, we're gonna do it back, and we're gonna do it down, which is the equivalent to our 24-row planter doing it down and back. I wonder if there's a rock or something wedged in there just right.
Hi.
Hi.
I brought lunch.
Did you bring me a radio by chance?
Yes.
Perfect.
They have those at the convenience store.
Thank you. Hey, that's Dusty. Red guy down. I will say, that machine looks cool. You always break down on the wrong side of the wind. I'm gonna try to throw his belt on it to see if it does. Let's open up the back and look up in there and see if we can see anything. I don't know, to me it sounds like it's like back here, but these belts are just jumping all over like crazy. This one is? Yeah. Oh, dust storm. Oh, look at it. Woo. Did that come off? It was off. I'm gonna open up the back here and look and see if we have some in our chopper. What? Chopper bearings out. Really? it.
Well, you might as well get after it.
Oh boy, there's about to be a tussle here on the side of the road. Passing an S790. We've outlined all the waterways, all the edges. I probably have a good hour of seat time in here now, so I think I'm ready to give some first impressions. And just for clarification, these are not my final thoughts on the Combine. These are my initial thoughts. A completely brand new platform to me. I just got a phone with Chet Larson from Larson Farms. He runs one of these exact Combines. So he kind of gave me a run through on kind of how to set things up a little better. Tricks and tips that he's learned kind of the hard way, I guess you could say. I like that, how it gives me a percentage that is slick.
Thing's moving right along.
Yeah, it is. I can probably push it a little faster too. We're doing 4.8.
My monitor says 6.2.
Size-wise, the cab is very similar to what I'm used to. On ours, this kind of comes forward a little more, so you can kind of tuck stuff under there, but this definitely has a more spacious area. The cup holder, main cup holder in this thing is incredible. Look at that. Just swallows your whole bottle. Don't got to worry about that thing flipping over. You can try to knock it out and you can't. Got a couple power banks here, it looks like. You can charge your phone and stuff in those. All right, yeah, phone, I don't know what that little one is. Headphones maybe? I do wish there was a speed knob on this steering wheel though. You stick your finger in here and or you just feel like you turn a ton. But this does turn sharper. Having these LSW 1400s on. Oh, you dirty dog. Whoops, sorry. Having the tires turns way sharper than the tracks. Extremely noticeable. This is what I'm not used to at all. I do like this though. You press that one button, it just lifts the head right up. We'll grab the steering wheel, we'll turn right around. Then once we get about halfway, then we press this number 2 button. Head goes back down, automatically gets on our auto steer line. All these buttons have a really crisp feel to them, so when you press it, it's not all mushy. You know you engaged something when you click it. So if I click this one, I can set my max speed and I can turn it up. Like we can turn it up to 5 miles an hour. We'll turn it back to 4 or 8. But then I can go full stick and I will stay at that 4.8 mile an hour. I won't go any faster, but I can go slower. And then let's say I'm in an open area like this and I want to go faster. Then I have this number 2 one programmed for a higher speed. So then all I got to do, hit that, zoom across the open area, and then when I get back to the beans, then I just hit the 1 and we're doing 4.8. This one has taken a little getting used to. This is our throttle. I'm used to having a lever that we push forward. That's idle, that's like a medium idle, and then this is high, full speed. So it's kind of weird pressing that, but I do like how you can hit everything right here from your thumb, because ergonomically, this is nice. We're not reaching over here for anything, it's just all right here. The stick feels nice. Real smooth in the hand. We got our unload on the right, and we got our presets for the header control. There, you can do a lot with this. I'm just kind of scratching the surface, I'm sure. But then this is kind of our manual head lift, and then we can tilt it side to side. This controls all our reel functions. This is our unload. We can kick our auto steer on there. I have no idea what that E button does. And there's actually some buttons back here, like this D one we can use to change the pitch of our head. When it first started out, I was plowing that baby into the ground. We were getting a lot of dirt. So I can pull up my little camera right here. I had dirt in all those little gaps around the soybeans. That's all it was. It's just soil. So we got that fixed. Machine is running significantly better now. It did take me a little while to get my sample the way I wanted it to be. What I had it set at yesterday, got in today, it was the dirtiest sample I've ever seen in my life. No idea why it was fine yesterday. Today it was bad. But nonetheless, that probably took me about an hour to get everything figured out. Just the settings on this machine are completely different than on our case machine. I don't know. It's different, but it's similar. It's hard to explain. We can do a lot of stuff on here. There's page after page after page after page of stuff. And then we can get on here, and there's page after page after page, and we can click all this stuff and that stuff. I haven't really played around with these a whole lot. I've been learning as I've been going. When I've been finding things that I need and problems I need to solve out here in the field, that the Combine isn't doing it the way I want it to do it, then I get on here and I look and then I find something. So like earlier, my trash, the way it's spreading on the back of the Combine, I felt it wasn't spreading the full path. So like I clicked on this residue management, and and then I can change the spreading width, and then this offsets for the wind. That is super cool. I really wish ours had that. I'm doing 4.8 miles an hour right now. This machine, this seems to be kind of on the edge of what we want to put it at for the power. Sometimes when you're going down a hill, you might get in a little bit of a drier area. You could probably cruise that 5.2 or better. I'm pretty comfortable going this speed. I about slugged it earlier, which would have been bad because I was just going too fast, just seeing what it could do. And it seems like the faster I go, the faster my reel spins, which makes sense. But when it starts spinning really fast, the beans that are sitting on the edge of the draper that keep getting flicked, it's like they get flicked harder and harder, and then beans were just shooting over the back of the head. So I slowed down on purpose a little bit for that. And I also, turning this dial, I was able to slow down the reel a little bit too. All these functions over here are engine controls, so we can see our fuel, our def level, temperatures. This is our speed, RPMs. I think that's how much pressure that the head is lifting off the ground with for the flex option on it. And then this is all of our sieve loss, or one of those is sieve loss, one's rotor loss, tailings. And this top left one, that's the one I'm keeping an eye on. This is our engine power load. So once we start getting up into that yellow, we kind of want to stay there. We don't want to get into the red, so I'm kind of keeping it at the bottom of the yellow. And that's kind of where that 4.8 seems to be kind of a sweet spot. This is a 40-foot header, so it's 5 feet more narrow than the one we have on our combine. I think this grain auger is also just a little bit longer, because we are definitely not as close to the grain cart as we would be in the case, which is kind of nice. It gives the grain cart driver a little bit more playroom without worrying about running into the head. I'll need to time it to see how fast that unloads compared to ours. Ours unloads fast, but this is a bigger grain tank, so it's a little bit deceptive. I can get about 5,000 more pounds out of this grain tank when it's full than what I can out of ours. I do wish we were able to adjust the end spout on this, though. This is fixed. I mean, it works just fine, but sometimes you just want to shoot it a little further, or you want to pull a little bit closer towards you. But this one's fixed. I wonder if I can like move this around like widgets on your phone. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to like put different things on a screen. I will say this is a permanent definite beyond just my first hour running the machine. I will never go back to not having a Crary air bar on the front. Just look how many more beans are up on that front sickle. There would be absolutely nothing there if we had the air bar on. And when we're going along, it's just amazing now how many beans actually fall off the front of the sickle and onto the ground. And when you get to the end, they kind of pile up a little bit and fall off. I was just completely oblivious before we had an air bar, but now we have an air bar and we go back. I'm not going back. This is a good example of where the air bar comes into play. All those beans right there, those were all left when we got to the end. That's what falls off when we turn around. This soybean header is considerably different than ours, being a rigid head instead of a flex. Ours has a hinge right here, and it has another hinge right there, so that way that wing can flex up and down, and that wing can flex up and down depending on what the field condition's doing underneath, while this is just a straight ruler all the way across. We are in some nice gentle rollies right now, and it's cutting like a dream. I haven't found a single spot where it's been leaving a high. I was kind of concerned about that being rigid. If you get a spine in the middle or a spine on the edge, you could be leaving high in the middle, or you could be leaving high on the ends. But so far, I have not seen any of that. And I mean, this is fairly rolling ground through here, so I've been happy with the performance. These Draper belts spin so much faster than ours. There's like one layer of beans across these, and it just pulls them right in. Where ours will stack up to like here, this, it's just like one thick. Not having the air bar on the front, it does keep this a whole lot cleaner. We'd be stacked up like this high up here, and the machine's not dusty really at all. We got this field halfway done now, or at least on this side of the road. On the other side of Zach's house, there's another 35 acres. But right where we're at, that is non-program acres, and this is program acres. According to the yield monitor, which I've heard it's self-calibrating, but I'm not sure. A little bit I've done on this side has been averaging 65 to 70, and that side did 55. We'll find out more as we progress further on. We got about 80 acres left over here. We're cruising right along. This thing's been just eating up the beans. The old LSWs. Oh man, they're holding up well. We still got the teats on the tires. Look at this. They don't even hardly leave an imprint into the ground. These are the tracks. I can stick my finger right into that.
Well, there's your answer. What you do see in there. All right, we got Ryan here trying to get that bearing up. It's bad right there. There's a couple 4 or 5 bolts on the backside you gotta loosen, which was releases something and something happens and then the bearing comes off. So I was supposed to film earlier, but I kind of forgot. But I'm eating a burger now, so it's good.
You're eating a burger. You ain't eating all this on this.
Hey man, this is my lunch.
I think these top lights are LEDs, and then there's LEDs on the back of the head, which that is really nice. Ours doesn't have that. I like that a lot. You can really see behind, everything's looking. But I think these lower lights and then the ones on the back and the side, those are not LED lights. You definitely notice a difference on that. The LEDs, once you get them, you don't want to go back. They're just football field. Sun's going down over there, moon's coming up over there. We did slow the machine down a little bit. It felt like it was starting to pull a little bit harder. Head wasn't sliding quite as good. It's amazing what just a few minutes of shade will do. I will say this, ours might have this, I don't know, because I haven't really played with the functions. It's not readily available on the joystick like this one is, but having the ability to have a limited speed in whatever gear you're in on this 1 or 2 button, so much nicer for your productivity. Because like right now I have it set at 4.3 mile an hour. I just shove my stick all the way forward and I go 4.3 mile an hour. On ours, sometimes you'll be going along and like you just get thinking about different things. Next thing you're doing 2.7 or you're doing 4.5 and then you got to slow back down and you're just all over the place. It's just not as consistent. It's amazing how much more you get done when you can just keep it going 1 speed. Lift over the waterway, slow down for the bump, let the LSW 1400s dip into that. We're through, put the head back down, full stick ahead. There we are, we're combining beans again. It's a smooth process. These beans are dry, you can see them flying up every now and again off the reel. I did slow my reel down, that's as slow as I can get it before it's actually pushing beans forward. But that's not what we like to see. Some of them are jumping over the back of the head, which is also what you don't like to see. I think some of that's coming off the spike flails that come out of the drum that's in the center of the Draper. It's like little baseball bats. I think that's what we're seeing a lot out of the middle for. On our combine, it's further back inside, so they're not quite as aggressive. I don't know why every now and again my head just crawls down. I have it set at like 50% down speed, so it should be going a lot faster than that. I do like how sharp this thing turns though. Look at that, we're just continuing. Geez, we're about to turn around right on top of ourselves. I like that. I like that a lot. It's a new record for me, 71,600 pounds, and don't mind the beans on the ground. All right, Owen, you're full. We must be chugging along pretty good because we got 3 semis running around and a 1,300 bushel grain cart. Grain cart's full and all the semis are full. We're waiting. Another little handy feature. See how we can see that yellow end? Oh, that end's got one too. They have little lights down in those, so that way they illuminate, then you know where the edge of your head is. When it's dusty, stuff like that, incredible feature. I don't know if we can shorten up those tines coming out of that feeder house drum or what, but it's like a little baseball bats, just ping, ping, ping. All those beans we're seeing are coming from there. I don't like that. We're almost done with this field too. We got 20 acres to go.
Nothing to pry on in this joint.
It's close. Hey, Cooper, you shine your lights on mine. Oh, sorry, I was getting some.
And that's a wrap for this side of the field. We got 125 acres done. Now we got 30 acres across the road, then Zach's is done. We're gonna use the potty. Oh, that was a mouthful of dust. Looks like a good spot. I like that. Cubby spot. What do? Put your gloves in there? Look at that. Gets them off the floor. I like it. Boom. Shakalaka. It's a big old grain tank. Hummer's full. Gray Freightliner's full. Yes, that is the gray Freightliner. I know. I can hardly recognize it either. Unbelievable what that acid did to it. Yeah, blow that trash off the head. I can turn up my road speed. Yeah, look at that. Oh, about took out that tree. Gotta be careful there. Oh, don't want to take out the grain cart now. Better be careful. See that little streak of beans that we left behind, and see how it's kind of pushing right there on the head? That's a sign it's starting to get tough. We're gonna have to call it quits here.